Imagine you have a best friend. You share everything, finish each other's sentences, and trust each other completely. For over a century, that's been the United States and Canada, neighbors with the world's longest, most peaceful border. Billions in trade flow between them every year. They're family. But even families fight, and right now, these two aren't speaking. The U.S. shocked everyone by slapping new tariffs, taxes, on Canadian products. Suddenly Canada, the land of maple syrup and politeness, was treated like a trade enemy. Friendly handshakes turned into pointed fingers. The easy flow of goods hit a wall. This wasn't a small spat over hockey or bacon. Billions of dollars and millions of jobs were at stake. Trust built over generations seemed to vanish overnight. Headlines screamed, U.S. and Canada in a trade war? It sounded unreal, but the economic pain was very real. The old rules were gone. A new, confrontational chapter had begun. The world watched as these two allies built economic walls. It's like seeing your two calmest friends suddenly shouting at a party. You're just worried they'll break something expensive. In this case, that something could be the entire North American economy. This wasn't just politics. It was a fundamental shift between two of the world's closest nations. And it happened almost overnight. So, what's a tariff? It's just a tax on things a country buys from another country. If the U.S. puts a tariff on Canadian bikes, those bikes get more expensive in American stores. The idea, make foreign goods pricier so people buy American instead. The U.S. said these tariffs would protect American jobs and industries. They targeted Canadian steel and aluminum, key materials for cars and skyscrapers. The message, buy American or pay more. But when you hit your best friend, you can't predict how they'll hit back. Canadian companies suddenly faced huge new costs, risking layoffs and higher prices. The shock rippled across Canada, from Ontario factories to BC lumber mills. Years of smooth trade agreements were upended. The new tariffs felt like betrayal. The U.S. called it leveling the field. Canada called it hostile. And in global politics, one hostile act almost always leads to another. Canada now had to choose back down or fight back. Canada didn't back down. Prime Minister Trudeau called the U.S. tariffs unacceptable and hit back with tariffs of his own. For every dollar the U.S. taxed, Canada taxed back, targeting American products like bourbon, orange juice, and even toilet paper. It was a strategic move hurt the industries in states that mattered politically. The trade war was on, but while Ottawa played chess, British Columbia, BC, decided to flip the board. BC, a key trade gateway and the land bridge for U.S. trucks to Alaska, saw a unique opportunity. The Premier floated a bold idea, slap a massive toll on American trucks using the Alaska Highway. The goal? Make it painfully expensive for the U.S. to supply Alaska. This was a new level of escalation, beyond products into territory and access. Suddenly a quiet Canadian province was roaring like a grizzly bear. The Alaska Highway became a bargaining chip. BC's move wasn't just about trade, it was about leverage. The message, if you hurt us, we can hurt you right back where it really stings. The stakes had just gotten much higher, and everyone was watching to see what would happen next. The Alaska Highway is Alaska's lifeline. Almost everything the state needs travels this road through BC. Without it, Alaska would be nearly cut off, relying on costly sea and air transport. BC's proposed toll threatened to send prices in Alaska soaring. Milk, gas, construction materials, everything. Ordinary Alaskans who had nothing to do with the trade fight would pay the price. Even some Canadians thought this was going too far. American politicians called it an economic blockade, not just a trade dispute. They argued international agreements should guarantee access. The situation was tense. The threat alone showed how interconnected and vulnerable North America really is. A single province had found a pressure point that could cause real pain. The Alaska Highway, once a symbol of cooperation, was now a potential battleground. Would BC actually do it, or was it a bluff? Either way, the stakes had never been higher. This fight exposed a split inside Canada. Ottawa, the federal government, played the diplomat, targeted tariffs, careful speeches, backroom negotiations. Their goal: pressure the U.S. but keep the relationship intact. BC, meanwhile, took a rogue approach, threatening a direct, painful blow. It's good cop versus bad cop, and it raised big questions. Should a province have the power to make moves with massive international consequences? BC's plan wouldn't just affect them, it could reshape Canada's entire foreign policy. As the tariff war raged, North America looked less like a stable bloc, and more like a patchwork of local disputes. Is this the new normal? In a fight between friends, is it better to negotiate, or to make a bold, risky move to change the game? The answer could shape the continent's future.